Howdy folks, welcome to Adventures in Alberon, Courts of Everest. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and many other evenings, and joining me are my friends, Matt, Vincent, Tina, the face that you made, Tina, really threw me off for a second. Cara, Hannah, and Alanna, we are all here. We are playing D&D in just a second. But before we do, a couple quick announcements. First, we have a YouTube and Instagram, a Threads, a Blue Sky, a Patreon. All of those are at AlberonRPG. There is pictures and things that are on the table right now. Just a little guy, just his butt actually.
His butt, yeah.
But so.
Oh really? I thought that was his eyes.
There you go. Not a sponsor, but you can see the things that are on the table at AlberonRPG on Instagram if people take pictures. Although you don't need to take pictures of that guy. We have encounter maps, we have handouts, we have miniatures, all kinds of things. You can see it there. We had Starfinder last night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we do every Thursday night. That is actually, the party managed to bypass a number of encounters.
And also almost die.
So really two ends of the spectrum, and you can see both of those when they re-air on Sunday on YouTube. We, as I said before, have a Patreon, and there is bonus content that you can see only on Patreon. Some session zeros, some behind the scenes. That is at AlberonRPG. Next week we have a very packed week, as we are going to be doing Starfinder on Thursday, D&D on Friday. On Saturday will be Wheel of the Year Beltane.
That's been moved to the 17th though.
Oh, the 17th, okay. But on Sunday we will be playing the very first Alberon After Dark, which is going to be the Deadly Sins, and that is going to be a very unique one-shot that, if you are a Patreon subscriber, you will be able to see there. It has some content that is not YouTube appropriate, a little bit of drinking, and so it will be for Patreon subscribers only. That is all the announcements that I have for this week, and so it is time for Courts of Everest. And to you, Cara, with the recap.
All right. Wandering Hearts, when last we played, we had finished moving around all the mirrors and focusing them on the ritual sphere, the container that held the ritual of Alandar that maintains the dome of Alandar. I can't decide if it's honoring him or kind of selfish to just put his name on everything. Anyway, from the entryway, we are presented with the guardian of the sphere, what seems to be a fey dragon. As Ori, with his keen special eyes, looks at the fey dragon, he noticed that something was shifting underneath, hinting, potentially, at multiple forms. From our position, we could see infernal writing over top of Alandar's ritual that seems to have wounded it, and Alina was able to get a better glimpse than most. At one point, we all debated on the merits of just talking to the Guardian, and maybe he'd let us through, and maybe we could just walk up to him and bargain with it, before Billy just calls Hearsome to ask for advice. He confirmed most of our fears, including that breaking only one ritual will be impossible for us, and that we will need to fight the Guardian, and that the Madam of Dark Reflections will be displeased. As we debate on the nature of this infernal ritual, and indeed of many of the rituals and providences, Mika floats the idea that Ori's father crafted the ritual, and she also inquires about Sentinel. Foreshadowing. In the end, we seem at an impasse, and Alanna stepped forward and used tongues to attempt to talk with the Guardian. It just doesn't seem into discourse. And flared its fronds and immediately attacked us fronds. We engaged it in combat. A fairly lengthy and pitched battle for us, as we had to maneuver deftly around the ley lines, now pointed directly at the sphere, and providing hazards that changed as the combat progressed. What also changed, of course, was the Guardian, as we cycled through not just a Fey dragon, but also a Celestial, courtesy of Alandar, and a gremlin riding a winged pig,
Really
which
the
is a
best
real
one.
mini that exists.
I'm
Courtesy of
grabbing the
Mythics,
top
of course.
pig.
Clearly the best one.
Of course. Ori and Billy focused fire on the Guardian itself, keeping it busy with damage while Valis held its attention, giving Alanna the space she needed to read the ritual. Cheshire and Minka provided back support, staying clear from damage, as Cheshires want to do, and keeping our erstwhile allies safe from harm, and keeping us alive. Thank you. Eventually, we are able to overcome the Guardian, and Alanna hits us all with the knowledge of this pact and this ritual. The ritual being the one that is set in place and keeping the ultimate hag away. The witch, the Dark One, Baba Yaga. But more pressing, it seems, the ritual written over it, and the one with which to break. We will also need to break one of the only anchors left, keeping Baba Yaga at bay, making it easy for her to infiltrate the world. The Infernal Pact, made between Zoros Eshere and Elornos Isolarios. For power, for two particular individuals, that they might have a place in the world. And for Padme to walk once more on this mortal plane of Everest. In exchange, 55,555 memories, which is the equivalent of 5,555 souls, the price that Elornos will pay. And until this deal is concluded, the souls of Elornos, Zoros, Elorion, and Elissarai are forfeit.
And I would imagine Padme too.
Interesting thought. All these things now we must grapple with as we begin our session in the aftermath of our fight with the Guardian.
Great work. For all of you, as it is
Go, buddy.
dark here within the Shattered Sphere, a place where the planes called the Feywild and the Shadowfell collide. It is dark on the outside, more so on one than the other, and it is about noon. You have slept not too long ago. You still have many hours ahead of you, but tired from the battle, perhaps. You are all resting. You are in this moment within this Guardian room. You can see still in front of you within this adamantine sphere that has opened up. There are these two rituals, one inscribed on top of the other. What are you all doing?
Peeping it.
Okay.
I want to know as much as an Arcana check will get me about this ritual.
Okay. Make an Arcana check.
That's actually really, really stinking good. 33?
Nice.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
With the 33, you are looking at two rituals first, but the first one is unlike almost anything that you've ever seen.
Mhm.
You've heard of these sort of ancient magical devices or rituals. I would say for you, without like an education really on this, kind of unclear, but things that are called mythals. And these things are arcane objects of such a potent ability that they can reshape the world around them. This ritual is similar to that. This is a profound magic that is more potent than something like a leveled spell. And as such, it is something that will likely have some serious ramifications when altering. That being said, you look at the adamantine sphere. This ritual is very powerful, but it is not abjuration magic. The stone itself is just stone, and that could be broken by any number of means.
Do I get the sense that it is impossible across the board to de-entangle the two rituals at this point? Or, like, could theoretically a higher powered individual have that capability?
With an Arcana check of 33, you would imagine if you were to go and treat with the person who wrote this infernal ritual, not the mortals named in this contract, but a more powerful entity, perhaps you could get them to remove it. But knowing that the cost is approximately 60,000 souls, the deal would be relatively steep. Or, sorry, 10,000 souls.
Okay.
The cost would be relatively steep. You, thinking about this other ritual, perhaps, and you imagine Hearsome could probably break this, but not without separating that infernal aspect.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to start summoning Rez because I want to know more about the infernal
You start
aspect.
taking a little bit of time to summon Rez. Yeah, Billy?
We had discussed the path that Billy is thinking of taking.
Sure.
Billy wants to first think on all of the names that she knows for the Bone Mother.
Sure.
And all of the ones that, like, kind of connect together so that she can start piecing together all the times that maybe she's been spoken of in her memories.
So you think about this. And the Bone Mother, Baba Yaga, this entity that is immensely powerful, you, for free, do not remember moments of this name being spoken. Outside of one, there was a mention of a Bone Mother. One person mentioned her. And Cara, if you remember who, totally fine. In your kind of perusal of your notes, you probably remember.
One person mentioned the Bone Mother to Billy, and Billy recalled hearing of the Bone Mother being spoken of before.
Yes. And you don't remember like a specific name, like maybe one of three names that would be akin to that, but you do remember now, as you begin to think, there are small spaces that fill in the cracks of an earlier time in your life. You remember waking up in the middle of the night and seeing movement. And though you were on the inside of this small hut, and small on the inside, bigger than what it appears on the outside, certainly, but not grand by any sense of the imagination, you could look outside of these wooden windows and you could see trees moving overhead, darkened forest. You could hear the sound of bats and owls, and you could see that this place could move. And you remember vividly now, there were times where all of your aunties were in there with you, and they seemed scared. And that is very unusual. You remember overhearing at one point them talking about this house that sleeps on legs. And though it does move from time to time now, it's never really because they wanted to. And you didn't remember that before. Prior to this, in your mind, the aunties were likely responsible, though you had never directly seen this. This house wanders. Make a insight check. Huh? A little loud. Oh. All right. 17. With a 17, this house is not something that is entirely within your auntie's control. There are elements to this house that likely have been locked away, and you wonder what it might be doing now. You wonder, when you break this ritual, what it might do then. But with a 17, all you do is wonder. Anything else, Billy?
Billy has no way of spying on the house. She was working on it for a while and got sidetracked. Maybe it's time to start working on that again.
Maybe. But you look around. You are in this room that just down a long hallway there is another larger chamber full of mirrors. And you had met an individual within that chamber. And they can see pretty far. For what it's worth. Anybody else doing anything?
I'm doing the Aragorn finding out that the hobbits are taken pose after he kicks the helmet just on the ground because I'm pretty injured and also taking it all in.
Because your toe broke as a result.
Yeah, or he also broke his toe.
Yeah.
Kicking a helmet.
Didn't kick the helmet, just stubbed it.
Is Euthelius still in the room?
He is. You can see Euthelius in particular has stepped up to this ritual, and they are reading it, they are studying it, and you can see they don't blink a whole lot, but they are intent on this contract.
I think Minka would move and kind of like study his face as he reads it
Okay.
to see if I can get like a sense of like his inner thoughts about it, even though he's pretty stone-faced. So I
Make an
imagine
insight
it's going to
check,
be
yeah.
pretty rough. And guy's guidance on myself.
He does have Cheshire at his elbow, so maybe that's distraction.
Maybe.
Maybe.
He's a
The
little
weird hidden pink
punk
lady.
ass. Or he read him like a book. He's just a punk ass.
This punk ass been fit now. That's not amazing, but it's not awful. But it's definitely not 30. So if that was the DC, then it's not that.
We got
Very
convincing stalling over here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now,
Yeah.
it's a opposed roll.
Okay.
The DC is 27.
I don't think I have that. Let me just double check. I just need to do math because it's.
Okay. As you look
No,
at
I'm short.
Euthelius,
19.
their eyes just immediately swivel off of this structure towards you, and with that roll, you don't get a good sense. They're really hard to read, but
Yeah.
Minka, there's something that feels familiar to you. Not in terms of them as a person, but in terms of the emotions that you can see for just a moment. And they turn and they look at you, and you get a sense that they're doing very much the same thing, trying to kind of read what you feel about this. And then after just a moment, they say, "What do you make of this?"
Well, it is not surprising in some ways, and very surprising in others. I do think we're about to make a very, very tough decision. And I don't know if we are, I feel bad that we're the ones that need to make it.
They turn and they look down and they say, "Do you know what this contract will do?"
The one on top?
The Infernal one.
Yes. Okay. I have an idea, but we're gonna ask some questions to make sure, because I have learned when it comes to these things and dealing with hags and demons and infernals and devils that things are often not exactly what it's literally written, but instead there's lots of like subtext that I'm not the strongest with.
Does Ori get the sense that Euthelius knows what the ramifications are in that contract are?
Make a sense motive check.
Or
I would say make it a disadvantage. You don't really know about magic, and so trying to read what this incredibly potent magic user knows about this magical ritual is tough.
Well, just in his questioning of, like, the way that he just asked Minka seems to imply that he might know something about it that he hasn't told her.
Yeah, well, my next question is like going to be,
What's your take on it?
So they look at you, and as you say that, they will say, There is nothing good that comes written in Infernal like this. It should be destroyed.
I agree with you on that. But we need to at least think through the ramifications before we do it. I can't speak for everyone, but I don't know if I could let this stand.
Destroying it would also destroy...
Are you there?
Are we in front of the ritual stone? Or did we...
Yeah.
No, we're
Oh,
not.
okay.
He's in the bathroom.
Destroying would also destroy Alandar's ritual as well, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Most likely.
Yes,
Yep. Absolutely.
it will.
Okay, well, I was hoping. Alright. But let's be realistic. It's so weakened already. How much longer would it stand? We're not the only ones who are affecting it.
There is one more left. But it's on the other side of the continent, as I recall.
also, the name is written. We all know it now. At least to an extent.
Just because it is weakened doesn't mean that it should be we should destroy it.
I think we need to figure out if this Infernal contract is where is it? Is it like
You're looking at
100% complete? Is it like
progress bar.
40% complete?
And Euthelius to this will say, there are 2 more anchors aside from this one.
Oh.
But 3 enough will not keep the Hag Mother out. And 2 certainly will not. It is a matter of time now.
Didn't we see that like 4 of the 6 were crossed out? Is there another one?
Where you
Billy's trying to slink out.
make a stealth check. For you, Ori, what was your insight check? Or your...
It was trash. It was like a natural 20. Or, it's not.
It was trash. It was a natural 20.
An unnatural 20.
Okay. Not really enough
That's
to
not
catch
trash.
on
Sorry, it
too
was.
much,
It
but
wasn't even. It was a 15.
You do
Yeah.
get the sense...
Why did you even mention it?
Euthelius is standing up there with Valis and Minka, and Euthelius asked Minka, not Valis, and that's pointed.
Right.
And
And
that
he
is
has
what
his
you
own
note.
goals as well.
What was your check? You do note for a moment they do break eye contact with Minka as they watch you leave, and then very quickly right back to Minka. You don't get the sense that you've snuck away, but you are out of sight.
That's fine. Good.
Okay.
There's
Timelines.
another one. Because we saw the symbol thingies where there were just 2 left.
Mhm.
There was a 7th.
They gesture and they say, there is this one. There is the house that walks on legs. And there is the one in the Emerald Spire.
So there's
Okay.
7.
If this is destroyed, the eclipse overhead will vanish, and over the Onyx Spire. That is a dangerous place. But it will be intact over the remaining anchors.
What's the house that walks on legs?
The eyes kind of look around for Billy. You see they look, and they look up to where Billy just was, but Billy's not there anymore. They look at you, and they say, you should speak to your friend. They will have more information than I do. I knew they had made a deal, but I did not think it would be so dire. This matters for you and for I more than others, you know.
Yes.
This means that they can return.
Yes, true. This also means that we are inviting more sorrows. We need a timeline to figure out this and someone else who can understand this better than me.
I have
Should-
been here for just a bit over a year, and I have patrolled the fields of folly and the area around since. Much has happened. I do not believe that this ritual is old, and he'll gesture to the Infernal one.
Okay. Like, within the last decade?
Certainly.
Okay. 5 years?
Beyond that, I cannot say.
Okay.
Is this out loud or?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
I'm speaking at normal volume. I'm not trying to hide.
Alyssa,
What's
right?
doing? Yeah.
So, Alyssa Rai kind of resting, holding the staff. The staff, like, completely drained of power. 3 out of 50 charges left. She has no spell slots. She's pretty exhausted, but kind of just resting with the artificer kind of standing guard up against one of these kind of posts. Definitely looking at you every now and then, but mostly resting.
Alyssa, I called her, and also Ori. You are both named in the Infernal ritual, and it seems to imply that when it was written, one of you would receive power. Could either of you perhaps pinpoint a point in your life when you've gotten power?
It was me. And you can see she holds the staff now and seems to almost have trouble pulling her eyes away from it. And she says, looking over at Minka, "You want a timeline?"
Mm-hmm.
3 months.
What?
3 months.
3 months ago?
That's when my father began to take trips. And she looks over at you, Ori. That's when our father began to take trips.
That is...
I still do not remember you, but I believe you.
You went to
And you won't.
the guild
'cause
hall
those memories
yes,
are in
recently.
Stygia now.
Yes. How did you know?
We've been following. I've been following you.
Don't interrupt this.
I didn't think you could see me.
I have a fucking 28
Matt does, not Ori. Matt tunes it down for Ori.
How the plot
When
begins.
you went, were you going at the behest of him?
No. It's been several years now that the Crimson Mage has been growing ill. She was a mentor to me after I graduated beyond the schoolmasters, and she's kind. But our father began to take trips 3 months ago, and they became more and more frequent, so I began to follow him. They were frequently to the guild hall, the Emerald Spire, and the monastery that we're in now. I tried to speak to the Crimson Mage and found that she was asleep,
Asleep.
magically induced. It's possible that our father did this to keep her safe, but I want to know the truth.
Does the word Wake Peter Flu mean anything to you?
The prism flu,
Yes.
yes. Everybody knows of it. It's in the Emerald Spire. And a bit beyond into the Gemlands, I've heard.
What do you know about its cause?
Very little. I've heard unpleasant ramblings about a conclave of rangers, but I think it's fear, mostly.
It's not fear.
But I thought about this as well. If anybody were to know, it might be the Ambersworn, as they regulate many of the magical ingredients in this continent, but they were not helpful, save... And she gestures over to the artificer. they were able to help me find some evidence of our father contracting this organization called the Lunarisht. They seem to be shipping arcane-infused amber, as well as experimental ingredients, magical supplies, other things across the continent. We tried to find a ship that we had gotten a line on, but it escaped. There was a commotion in Darkbriar.
Wait, I know the name of that ship.
It was a ship called the Javon.
The Javon. Yeah.
What commotion.
Does that sound
After
like
that,
spell
8 days.
components?
Captain Zori
Say
went
again?
Does
north.
that sound like spell components?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Captain Zori had gone
Do I have like an
north.
idea of...
Say again?
Do I have an idea of like what...
From that description now, that could be many different things, but it definitely sounds like either spell components or magical ink, something of that nature.
When this is commotion, I just gonna think, like, because I'd be like, wait, how long ago was this?
You're not there. I'm not
It was
there.
several weeks ago. Oops.
Minka's gonna see if she can put together that it was
Yes,
our
the
commotion.
The timeline lines up.
Val's is gonna make that same
Yeah.
connection.
Oh no.
And she says, after that, I used my status to get into the guild hall, but found myself stonewalled by the bureaucracy.
Oh.
I did learn, while going through some of the documentation in their archives, that the Javon does seem to travel impossible distances in short periods. The logs of things that move do not make sense. I surmise that this ship can either plane skip or fly. I called in a favor from the Seer of Crimshale after that, and they gave us cryptic omens that led us to where we met you. But our father is up to something much worse than just this. And she holds the staff up. And this staff that you have seen with these draconic elements, for you, Alina, you kind of summon Rez, I would say at this point, and so you have Rez now. Kind of holds it up, and you can see this matches the elements of scales that kind of suffuse through. And while they do look draconic, certainly, they are black, they are metallic, there is maybe an infernal appearance to them as well.
When you were there, were you with the butler of the Crimson Mage?
I was not.
We encountered them shortly after you had left.
Of the Crimson Mage?
Yes.
The Crimson Mage does not... Were your memories taken as well?
I'm wondering if your memories were taken while you were there, or some of them, although I don't know how far back they could have gone. What do you think we should do about this ritual?
Destroy it.
Okay, I have one question about the current status of the souls involved. I don't quite understand who has them.
At this, Euthelius will walk over to this kind of ritual, and gazing pretty intently at it, he will say, Levistus.
For sure.
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay. Does that include their souls as well?
They gesture down at this infernal contract and they say, these memories, these souls, are frozen in ice around the prison of Levistus. He can draw great power from them, but to what end I do not know. And Rez at this will say, oh, Levistus? That guy's got one goal and one goal only. He wants to escape.
His tomb.
Yeah. The Tomb of Levistus. You guys probably heard about it. Like right off the coast of Tantlin. Can't really miss it.
Yeah, I thought about taking that.
Is he saying
Yeah, we-
that?
You did. You gazed straight at
Yeah,
Levistus.
he's,
Literally
I think he's
looked it
talking
up.
out loud. So after I summoned him, I spent time getting him caught up.
Okay.
And that's when he enters the conversation.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It says here that if we destroy the contract, it is null and void. the soul, Zoros' soul and Lorna's souls, and those they deal for, presumably Ori, Elissarai, and Padme, those will be forfeit.
Who are you talking to now?
I guess the room out loud. But I'm like standing next to, like, he's saying that, I'm like standing next to him.
Euthelius will look over at Rez, deferring to the actual devil on this kind of infernal
Yeah, where's
matter.
our legal counsel?
And you can see Rez goes over and he goes, it really depends on the contract. You know, they're really specific in their
Oh my god,
language.
he has to pull it out from somewhere.
You can see he gets in really close, kind of like squints down, and he does like the
Takes
little
out his
squat
little
right on the edge of
bifocals.
this big adamantine bowl. And he squats down and he says, so what are you wondering about here?
I asked the question again. So the question I asked was, it says here, break the contract, it is null and void.
Yeah.
Your souls, does that mean Alornos and Zoros?
And
Those you
they
deal for, does that mean Ori, Elissarai, and Padme?
So
will be
based on the
forfeit?
language of this contract, it sounds like whatever power this lady got, or her sister, hello, they're gonna be gone. So that, gone. And whatever Ori could have gotten, which, like, based on her, pretty fucking cool, dude. I would think about it. But that won't happen. And then all the souls that are part of this deal, they will stay with Levistus. So, like, devils are pretty smart. We sort of set these contracts up so we win even when we lose.
So Ori's soul won't be forfeit or damned should we break the contract.
I mean, not any more than it already is.
Hey, be nice. He's been through a lot.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I mean, look at this guy. He has literally no curse on him, and yet vampires, stolen sister, evil father.
Ben's got a point.
Hey,
He goes over and puts a hand on Ori's shoulder and just goes, that's rough. That's just bad.
It's rough out here.
That sucks.
Hey, Rez, can you tell anything about this contract just by looking at like the way it was written, or
Like what?
I don't know. You're the devil.
Whoa.
What?
I like the sound of that. That's cool. I am the devil.
Yeah, the devil.
All right,
The
yeah. Let me
devil.
take a look.
Yeah,
So
go
you
go take a look.
And
Do a
like,
little, do a little check.
what are you trying to find out? Because you have read all the words and you have a good amount of context to what they mean.
Is this a good exchange rate?
Yeah, like does anything like pop out at him as significant? Yeah, like literally, like it does the exchange rate make sense, or like does the way that it's written, like the physical way that it's written, is it?
I mean, this doesn't
indicative
say
of
anything about the exchange rate. It just says that the value on the exchange, which is important if you're getting like a bunch of mercenaries or raising an army or something like that. But that's how we deal with like currency in the Hells. This is basically just like a big money order.
What's a money order?
Have you never been to Mythelstream? Oh, man.
Does Ellie, when she was talking, the power is, she's implying that she's the weak one?
She is implying that she is the one that has received this power. And looking at the staff, which she did not have before, that might be some element to it. You knew that she was a prodigious caster as a youth, but not like this. This is a whole different level. And that would imply, based on the language of the contract, that at one point she was the weaker one.
But that's not true, because
Are you saying this out loud, or are you thinking?
I'm thinking.
Okay. Well,
We're
Ori's
having
saying,
like a 404.
Just
Working.
remember, the rest of us are like, you also kill most of the things in the party.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you
Talking
most-
about definition.
you mostly
like-
killed the Guardian. I'll say out loud, does anyone know who Zoros Eshrei is, or perhaps who Padme is? And I'll say that also to the NPCs.
At this, Ellie would say, Zoros Escherey. They're an archivist. The archivist, in fact, of the Emerald Spire.
At the Emerald Spire Asamla,
Yes, my father has had dealings with them in the past.
and that's why he's been traveling to the Emerald Spire, perhaps?
Perhaps. The Austenloch is
Looks
the
like
foremost
viewings.
site of knowledge on this continent, so there are many reasons to travel there. Have you been?
That's a complicated question.
I used to be a member of the Austin Lock.
Oh, then you know. There
They
are
have
many reasons to
stolen
go.
his
Doesn't
memories as
actually?
well.
Sorry, I am a banished member of the Austin Lock.
You can see like both the artificer and her are like they like draw away from you a little bit. It's no insight check needed. It's awkward. But she goes and just kind of says, "Well, it's
Valis learned too much about what's going on. They took his memories too.
then this is all related, and we should go to the Austin Lock."
Okay. Now, this might be an invasive question, and I apologize for that. Our friend Cheshire here is very adept with memories. Would you be alright with her potentially examining you?
They look over at Cheshire. What is Cheshire doing right now?
Crocheting.
Like, kind of awkwardly dancing in place, like shuffling around.
That is
Kind of
okay.
humming.
She is very good at what she can do. And she's
The artificer at this goes,
trustworthy.
she cast several spells on us that required me to end them.
She's
So it was you.
whimsical.
Yes, it was me.
It's a certain sense of humor that, it's kind of like an acquired taste, but she means well.
Or make a persuasion check.
I would like to help him. And by help, all I'm gonna say is Ori really likes the sense of humor. Am I helping?
Make a deception check. Roll.
While this conversation is happening, Alina, I think at this point has noticed that Billy has gone, and
Yeah.
she's gonna go and try to find her.
Definitely. So you make your way out. Are you, Billy, when you left, did you go to the Feywild side or the Shadowfell side?
Billy didn't leave the building.
Okay. So we'll get back to that.
Hannah knows where
I'm
Billy
sorry.
went.
I forgot that I did something really funny on my
So Valis, what was that deception check?
Deception check 17.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Or make that check at advantage.
Nice.
Valis, you lie straight to Ori's sister.
Oh! Natural 20!
I don't care. And justify the means, right?
Says
Says the paladin.
Oh, there's an order of conquest.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this party has a weird effect on all of us.
Machiavelli.
I don't remember you, but I do believe that you are my brother. And if this will help with that, then okay.
Cheshire? Would you mind helping my sister?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
What do you want me to do?
Could you see anything about missing threads? Where they could possibly lead to? How long or many there are missing? I don't really know how much it works with what you do, but
What I do?
you do a lot of good things that I appreciate. Also, sometimes get annoyed by.
Cheshire's a
Please.
really odd way to ask for help, but
I thought you might like a song.
I don't know that I've ever really heard you sing. Now's not the time.
I say it, Ellie. See how they get along?
No.
I see it.
I'm gonna do a thing. All you really have to do is stand there and not fight me on this. Detect thoughts.
Okay. They're a willing creature. And so, no problem. You cast Detect Thoughts. Give me 1 second here.
And tell Ori, okay, now talk to her, ask her about the thing, so she brings it up into her mind, and I'll tell you. And really, I'm looking for like gaps or things that like don't line up or.
Okay.
So they willingly fail this check, and they begin to talk. And as you sort of watch them over the course of this conversation, there is markedly just points that are missing. And in this moment, Cheshire, it's like the light shifts, and you can see that all along this room there are these strings. You'd seen them before. This is a place where they are concentrated. And around Ori's sister, there are a few that go off the wrists and off the elbows and off the shoulders, but they hang limp, as if they've been cut. And not all of the strings are like that.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these are tangled up. Some of these are just a little bit wrong.
Can I ballpark maybe how many times she's been subject to this, or how many she's lost?
It is less about how many times, but you can tell that there has been substantial modification to her memory.
Okay. I would relay that at the end of the spell.
Over the course of this conversation, as you just talk to her, she talks about things that you knew about growing up in and around the Crimson Tower and in Crimshale. She talks about studying and tells you that she surpassed her tutor, who you remember very...
Was it the same asshole
Yes.
one that I fucking
Very
hated?
much. But she graduated through him when she was 10 and doesn't remember very much of his teaching. Most of what she learned was from the Crimson Mage. She had a lot of very explosive abilities. The Crimson Mage, though, was not really like Alyssa Rai, like a surgeon with magic. She was really more interested in the mundane aspects of it. Despite the fact that she is one of the most powerful mages in all of the magiocracy, Alyssa Rai tells you that really, she just liked to grow flowers. She was fascinated with the ability of them to drink things in around them and reflect or even amplify it. She used them to dampen her own abilities, to alter her own abilities. And so the Crimson Mage could be moody as a result. This is why her being just asleep for long periods of time, not super uncommon. Make a persuasion check over the course of this conversation, Ari.
Also, as I'm hearing about all of this,
Yeah.
very clearly the crimson blossoms, the chrysanthemums that we've found are, as we know, potent magical features that have been used and are partially cause of Wake Peter flu.
Yeah.
So this all seems to lead all the way up to the Crimson Mage.
Okay.
Using, well, in the sense that
I just don't know where this is going.
up until this point, it hasn't been clear if the Crimson Mage themselves have been involved.
Yeah.
And now it seems like there is some potential of the Crimson Mage having goals that either align with Alornos's and what's going on with the pact and shattering.
Sure.
Or
Fracture.
fracturing as a result. So I guess I'm trying to discern if there's any sort of
Make an insight
clear
check.
indication of that.
That's what we
throughout
call
this
an
conversation.
outer monologue.
Oh, terrible timing. That's a natural one.
You don't get a lot. You think about it much more than you really.
Oh,
put
although
into
actually,
practice.
wait. Oh no, that's a different thing.
But she does talk about how over the years, the Crimson Mage was really like a mentor for her, and so you don't really get the sense that there is a lot of evil intent. She also speaks to your father really being like her sort of right-hand man over the last few years, and to this day continues to faithfully relay her word to keep Crimshale moving forward, even as she sleeps. And there is elements of this that she would tell you that was really to allow, and the Crimson Mage's like big experiment, the thing that she was really working on, was an ability to give people magic who were born without it. In the magiocracy, that's a controversial goal. And so this was something that was not widely shared. She talks about how, again, months later, and this is really where, for you, there's like a gap, Cheshire, right here, where it seems like a lot of memories have been taken. Where just 3 months ago, the father begins to take trips, and she kind of goes back over that timeline for you. And I would say that's what she says over that conversation.
What's Crimshale?
Crimshale is the town around the Tower of the Crimson Mage.
We were near it on the way through the Candlestick Forest.
Is that?
Would you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Most of the disturbances were after that point, or were there some
Right around that
right
point.
around the
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the area that's very heavily distorted with the weave, right?
That's the
The
Folger
fray?
Fields. That is slightly east of Crimshale.
Okay.
What do you mean by continue the Crimshale project or the Crimson Mage? What does that mean?
The Crimson Mage's ultimate goal is to find a way to give magic to those without.
Oh, okay.
In her current state, she cannot continue her research, but my father is attempting to continue it as well. Or I thought he was. But I question that. I lost my thought. Even these deals, in his mind, it could be for the betterment of people.
She said at 10. Does that line up with around the same time that I would have? Because
Yeah.
she was around
Yeah.
that age, so it seems like that was probably when modifications started to happen. Is that what?
Perhaps. But that's when that lines up with what you would know.
Okay. Well, what did you learn, Cheshire?
Oh yeah, there's significant gaps. Right at about the time things changed.
She nods. And at this she says, then we must go to the Arsenlock and get them back.
I don't understand.
They may already be in hell.
If the ultimate goal is for the project to continue and our father has taken that on, through this pact I should have received some magic.
Why?
Only if it's complete.
Well, power shall be granted to the weak one first, and the sibling upon completion.
Oh, Ori.
This ritual is not yet complete.
Do you have any idea how far along that completion process?
I was made to leave because I was the weak one. I had nothing to offer the family.
I don't remember what happened,
I know, but that is what happened.
but I got this. And she holds the staff up. And you can see this staff is beyond almost anything that you have seen up until this point within your time traveling together with the Wandering Hearts. You have not seen anything like this. This is a legendary object. This is something that is immensely powerful. And she says, I don't know why they forced you to leave. But you are not the weak one, or else you would have received it.
Doesn't make any sense.
You don't need.
Power comes in many forms, dear oblivious Ori.
That's not what I'm. That's not what I mean. It's Cheshire. Can you do what you did for me too?
Tomorrow.
I don't know what that means.
How long ago were you exiled, Ori?
Well, you were around 10, so roughly 58 years.
And Illustrator, I believe this has been about 3 months?
For this, yes.
It's a long time.
Something. Well, something may have changed in those years, or something may have changed about how things are remembered.
This inconsistency in the wording could be used to the advantage of the one who had made this deal.
Every word could be used to the
Right.
advantage. What is a soul?
Yeah.
So for the two of you, Billy, you first sneak away. Where are you going? Not very stealthy.
No. And Billy. Stealth was a strong word.
Yeah.
Billy knows when to make. Billy knows when to be scarce.
Sure.
And when everyone's focused on something. And Billy is not useful. Or in this case, desired. Billy can slip away. So, Billy's headed to the central chamber with the mirrors.
Okay.
Billy has 3 strands of memory. Billy's only looked at 1.
Okay.
The other 2, it's maybe time to look at.
You couldn't tell me about this ahead of time?
I just thought of that.
Right.
You had to mention the house!
Where did you get these memory strands from?
So, I have
like-
3 memory strands from
Lunarish
the
Guild
Lunarish
Hall?
Guild
Okay.
Hall.
That's what I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Where-
I watched the one with the man who had
Came
the
to
best
visit.
goat in the whole wide world.
Yeah, a really good goat.
And I have
The goat of goats.
2 more that Billy didn't have time to look at,
Okay.
but knows she has.
So within this space, it is blindingly bright, except in the places where the light is blocked by this mirror, and the mirrors cast these dark, long shadows like bones in this place. And you stand here and you consider these strings. You have 2 of them. You have the one of the person with the best goat in the whole world.
There's only 2? Oh, I thought I had 3.
You have 2 other ones.
Yes.
Right. So go ahead and roll a D100.
Damn, son. I'm not ready for that.
Well, payback.
It is. That's exactly what that is. This feels targeted.
I just went and on a 22-page document of the Lunarish Guild Hall found your memories that you found.
You didn't. We didn't talk about the other 2. 13.
13. Okay.
You explode.
You pop open. You take this memory and you hold it. And considering this, you suddenly are transported to a place within the gemmed fields. And you are in a farmland. You can smell rich tilled soil, and you are there along with 2 figures that you know to be your father and your mother. You're small in this memory, and you know that you have spent many years here, and looking down you can see vegetables, you can see things that are being pulled up, and your mother proud of these vegetables, and your father very keen to get his hands on them because he's perfecting a jarring technique. And this is the harvest that is going to make it perfect. In this moment, as Fiora Lentgradine, you know that you are about to have the best harvest of your life. And that memory ends. Roll a D100 if you want to consider the other.
59.
And suddenly you are transported down into the Underdark. As you hold the strand of memory, your eyes kind of glaze over, and you can see the dark is crawling. And in front of you, you see these spiders that in a moment you know are called steeders. Multiple of these Duragar, just like you, riding in these long dual rows. Better to hide your numbers. And you can see that here, the Duragar Steeder speaker that controls the various swarms in front of you is waving you all on. In the service of the Grey Lady, who in this moment has empowered the colorless boy to command you forward and investigate this new disturbance, you progress with the army that crawls through the Underdark as Dajar Dirtburn, a Duragar. And your memory kind of blinks back, and you are within this place surrounded by mirrors. Make a perception check, Billy.
Makes sense. 14.
Okay. Anything else?
Down the hall and
Billy heads over to the cart.
Okay.
Gets out her flint or little book of matches. Don't know what she's got. She's got one of them. And looks for a source to start heating up the kettle.
You look around for a source to start heating up the kettle. You see in front of the space this long kind of table, a number of chairs, all different kinds of shapes and sizes gathered around. There is no heat source that you can find.
Of course it's magic.
But you look at the end of the table where there is a mirror, and all of a sudden your reflection is not staring back. You see a woman in this dark cloak. You see this large furred hat. You see this one bulging red eye as the Madam of Dark Reflections gazes at you. And she says, "Have you changed your mind?"
I suppose I'm not as smart as you thought I was.
"Dear, I never thought you were smart, but I can feel danger in the wind. I know you mean to disrupt my operations, and I'm quite a busy woman. I have no time for tea, dear. So what is it that you want? Before you bring everything crumbling down."
I've been trying to figure out scrying for a while, and you have such lovely shiny mirrors. Perhaps you could assist.
"Of course I can assist."
The house that sleeps on legs. Where is it?
"You wish to go home?"
I at least wish to locate it.
Fascinating. Something tells me you've been welcome home all along. You just need to go. Do you wish to see your home?
Yes.
I could show you, of course. But what will you give me? You have so little to offer. Your soul already promised.
I have heard that there's such a thing as the Stygian exchange. What weight would you require by that measure?
Devils. Not my sort of business.
Thought so. Couldn't hurt to ask.
You never know.
That's true.
It's certainly good. I recommend you be very careful with your words in the coming months. Times are changing, and I have many important works to do, and here is not safe.
Have you thought of... And Billy holds up a single coin. I don't have many of these.
You see the folds of this robe go down just a bit, and you can see this huge bulbous nose suddenly appear. And the nostril flares. You can see these long bristly hairs that come down, almost like legs of spiders, segmented, moving, as she breathes in the smell of you. And she says, "No, you do not, but everyone counts."
Soul's already going somewhere.
I suppose they are. And all you want to do is see your home.
A way to locate it. If I am to use this.
Very well. She holds a hand out, and for just a moment it goes flat against the glass before the glass just... and they just extend a hand through. And they keep it held out.
And Billy drops one in.
Okay. Are you putting all of the coins in?
Billy's just putting one in. Billy said one.
They continue to hold the hand out. and they say, I can smell more. And you are underpaying so severely already. Please don't insult me.
It's not mad. I mean to insult. I have people who desire these coins and may need them for their own souls in exchange.
For my time, then. And she steps back through the mirror. And it is just a mirror.
You got worried.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Unfortunate.
You better appreciate this.
Alina,
She
at this
says to
point,
her
you
reflection.
walk in and you can see it looks like Billy is starting to set up a tea party. And that may not be the best idea. And Billy looks kind of mad, just staring at herself angrily in the mirror.
I can't see my forehead.
Hey. What are you doing?
I'm not gonna be helpful to an infernal discussion. I don't know anything about devils.
Well, that's okay, but what are you doing?
Oh, I was gonna ask the madam for help finding my home. It moves. Apparently.
Wait, like on legs?
Maybe. I haven't been outside to watch it.
Like a hut?
Oh god, you're here.
Oh, yeah. Goes back to being visible.
Just like pop in first and then talk. We've been over this. It's sometime a jumpy, man.
Look, I don't want to die. And it keeps happening, all right? Until that stops, I'm just going to keep kind of popping in.
Sorry about that, by the way.
It happens. All right, look. What?
Maybe my house moves on legs. Does yours house not move on legs? It's normal.
The reason it maybe is important is because there's not 6 anchors, there's 7, and the 7th one is in a place called the house that moves on legs.
That really fucking sucks.
Is that where the aunties live?
Yep.
Wait, you were just living in an anchor the whole time?
As a kid.
But look
There
how
was a
small that is. You just slept on that?
No, man, it was bigger.
Rez,
Oh.
can you go eavesdrop on Ori?
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
No.
definitely.
Get back here. Fuck.
Wait,
Bring
what?
it back.
What? What?
It telepathically goes, what should I do?
I guess come back. What? He was.
Slowly shifts back into visibility.
You never left, did you?
I'm not that fast.
I don't know. I think you just pop in and out.
Sorry, I just assumed that. Okay, sorry.
Billy holds up the other 4.
Coins.
You read the contract, I'm assuming. That's why you're half the reason you're here, right?
Alina filled me in on them. Are we going shopping? What's going on?
These
Yeah.
are soul coins.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay, that's great. In the grand scheme of currency exchange,
Yeah.
1-to-1?
1-to-1 with what?
Like a person's soul.
Yeah. Each one of those was, like a little mortal at one point.
Yeah, so if I were to say, pay for souls that are currently owned by somebody with a soul.
Soul for a soul? Yeah, you could probably do that. If you're going to do that with the devil, though, just don't let them know that you care about the other soul. Because if you care about it, then the weight is different. And they can even put those coins on scales, and like with the person in front of it, they change. It's crazy.
Oh, I don't like that look.
I have an idea.
Okay.
It's a really stupid idea.
Terrible.
Okay, most of our ideas are.
We have someone who can maybe get into the London Parish Guild Hall, where or it could just be stuck in the room for a bit. Billy holds up the other 3 memories. These are from home. There was a receiver in the guild hall, which means if we go home, we can check on the integrity of an anchor and remove my memories of Ori.
Why would you do that? Because you plan to go treat what with Levistus?
It'll be 1 for 1 if I do.
Come on, that you would have to go home to the aunties.
I'm sorry, I'm Billy. You're gonna bargain with Levistus? I'm just saying, we got people that could do that, you know, and he's literally the prince of a hell.
This feels like maybe Hellish Rebuke would work if I tried it on you.
Look, I'm not trying to assault you or anything, but like you can't deceive a deceiver. That's just not gonna work. And
If I don't remember him, then it's not going to weigh heavier on a scale, will it?
I'm talking about like at the Scrivener Works. I'm talking like street level devils. If you're talking about somebody who can literally see your soul and like behold it in its multi-dimensional aspects, I don't think that's gonna work. But you could try. I just think it's a bad idea.
I don't know, Billy.
Ori's soul is going to hell.
Probably.
And his sister. I know where mine's going. That was pretty clear. And no offense, there's not many people who would be waiting for me on the other side. I love you.
I love you too. Why are you saying this now?
Ori doesn't deserve to go there. Especially because he was not involved with the deal that was made on his behalf. And you saw what it was like when he found his sister again. I won't let it happen.
The group can work together on this. You don't have to go rogue. You can stay.
I'm not going rogue. I'm making plans because they might not work.
I don't want you to go. Okay? I don't want you to go home. What if they don't let you leave? Then it'll be for nothing.
Not for nothing. If I'm there, I'm not doing their work outside. As it appears that I've been doing it all along. If the house can move, and I can't see what's inside, I have no way of knowing if anything before the time I left was actually real.
It kind of seems like you made up your mind already.
There's always a plan C, and I've decided on plan C. Just letting you know. You made a promise.
Yeah.
And besides, what better adversary to find on a hunt than a hag?
I will kill every hag I find. Like, every single one.
And I will always be one step ahead. I'm gonna need a minute before I go back in. I'll still be here. Don't worry. Can't go anywhere yet. You're the one with the teleportation spells.
Yeah. Just don't go without saying goodbye. Please. Okay. Also, no tea parties.
Oh yeah, no, she said no. She's too busy. That sucks. That smells nice.
I mean, Billy, the tea is just there. If you want to just take some of it, you certainly could.
No, she doesn't have permission.
But for you, Alina, you make your way away. What's your passive perception, Billy?
My passive?
Yeah.
22.
You do notice that with a roll of 20, Rez does sneak something into your pocket. And as you're walking away, Alina, Rez says, I don't really know how it works yet, but don't worry. I got my thumbnail into her pocket. So if she tries anything, we're going to find her.
Thanks, buddy.
Got your back.
Yeah, I know you do.
You make your way back.
So back to us. Out of character, Cara reminded me of this. But in character,
Yeah.
Valis listening to Ellie talk about when she went to the guild hall and her experiences there.
Sure.
I found a bunch of memories on the stones, right? And I took them all, and some of them were from
Crimshale.
Crimshale, right?
I saw one of them, and we have a couple more.
Okay. Just having that thought.
I think Valis took all of them.
I took all of
Valis
them.
has
Any that were not
like,
taken
there weren't a ton
were
in
taken by.
Crimshale,
Yeah. You have a handful.
but you got the whole
bucket
crate.
of
Yeah.
memories, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a long
Box.
shot, but
Boxo memories.
I'm just gonna go. When we were also at the guild hall, we found some memories, and I'm gonna take out like a bunch that were from Grimshell. I'm just gonna show Elisrai and ask, just in case perhaps yours, if your memories were
Definitely were.
taken,
100%.
maybe one of these is yours. Do you want to take a look and see if any of them stand out to you?
Be
Because
careful. Some of them are not going to be pleasant.
they may not be hers, though.
They're still not pleasant.
Do you recognize any of this spaghetti?
Have you not looked at them yet?
I don't remember if I've looked at them.
You did.
I think I've looked at some of them.
No, so you spent a couple of long rests actually looking over all of them. You saw a lot of different, like, little... a lot of them are just, like, scenes from around Crimshale, the Fields of Folly, Emerald Spire, people reading books, like, all kinds of things.
Would I have known if any of them were Elisrai?
Yes, and I would
Okay.
say none of them,
Okay.
now that you've met her,
The only one that
would be
Ori,
remarkable in that way.
that Ori had that was significant was of the old lady that was dying of Wake Peter flu.
Okay.
And in Crimshale.
Okay, now that you mention it, I did look through all of them, and they're probably... I don't think any of them seems like they could be yours.
Thank you anyways.
Points for trying, buddy.
Anything else that you all want to do before making a decision about this ritual?
Okay, so let's say that we do want to destroy it. Not saying we for sure do. Do we know how?
Well, I mean, the magic part of it, probably really hard to undo. But it is bound to that stone, so break the stone, break the container, magic goes away.
And Euthilius said that it was only a matter of time.
Yeah,
I think
and then Billy can come back at any
Where's
point.
Billy?
she'll be right back. I think if we're gonna break it, we should rest first. I am very wounded, so are all of us. We don't know what's gonna happen if we break it. We should rest.
Well, we know some of what's going to happen.
Euthilius.
They turn and they look at you.
This pact made by Alandor, he was a member of the court that you used to belong to, yes?
He was.
When do you know Alandor? I don't have a sense of which age he lived in or how old he was.
How old you, bro?
We're cousins.
I never knew him directly. I was but a boy when all of this happened.
How many years ago was that? When did Alandor die to create this pact?
About 2 centuries ago.
I worry that Alandor is a great mage of the Divine Court. He saw in his wisdom that he did what he did to stop the prisoners of the Onyx dungeon from escaping and to banish her.
But he did it with Hearsome. And then Nithix got involved and nobody could control it. So
Yes.
not even the 3 who made the pact necessarily know what became of it. Nor how they could remove it or modify it.
Yeah.
Alandor's family was amongst the stars when the dome went up. I do not believe that he would ever seal them away. That was not his intention. And if he lived, he would have brought them back.
I see.
So you mean that even the ones who made the pact could have reason to undo it?
Yes.
Hey, Russ,
Yeah.
do you know how to, like, break the Infernal pact?
Shing. Yeah, I think I could probably do it.
Okay, buddy. Keep that in your back pocket.
But like maybe Vala should try.
Right, because we don't want we don't want you
just
to
wanna
destroy
save-
the entire house.
I was just saying we want to save some of like our better abilities. for
Right.
that.
We know that he has some memories still, right? That he hasn't.
Yeah, Cheshire has some.
Yeah.
Cheshire will not give them back unless Rez asks for them.
Yeah,
directly.
but Ori's gonna ask.
Ask what?
Is he invisible right now? I mean,
Yeah,
it
he's-
probably doesn't matter. I can smell him.
He's always I would say as his like
That's so much worse.
his regular state is invisible, but because he doesn't like getting smushed.
Yeah.
But he's invisible but not hiding.
Rez,
Yeah.
can I ask you to do something for me?
I mean, you can ask. Yeah, of course.
Your memories from the guild hall.
Yeah.
I know you didn't want to remember them. Now might be a good time.
I'm telling you now.
Probably
One
not.
of them wouldn't be a big deal. The other, for sure, will be.
Okay.
Well, Cheshire, you've seen them, right? Does that need to happen?
No.
Yeah, that seems pretty black and white to me.
Well,
What are you hoping to get out of that anyway? You just trying to bother me?
no. If your memories could be related to what's going on with this pact and with Levistus.
Not all devils are from Stygia.
I know.
Okay, so this has nothing to do with me.
Which hell are you from?
I'm from Phlegathos. It's nice.
With a PH.
Yeah, it smells like rotten trash. It's pretty good.
That's what that is.
Sounds and screams.
I get what you're saying, Ori, but if Cheshire says it's not related, then
I didn't say it wasn't related. I said not to give it back.
Well, don't give it back, but is it related?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was asking.
But it doesn't mean he needs it back.
No, I know, but could you tell us perhaps how it is related?
Well, no, because they specifically asked, or he did, to not show him and to not tell Alina.
Rez.
Yeah.
Do you want to maybe, like, do you guys want privacy? I mean, this feels like maybe it's important, so we
If
can...
people want to see it, I will show them if Alina and Rez are not in the room, because that is what is asked, unless Rez asks for something different.
Up to you, buddy. We can go, or we can stay.
Maybe let's just go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have permission to look at your memory?
I mean, it doesn't seem like it really matters, but yeah, fine.
Well, I'm not going to look if you don't want me to. I think it might help.
I think it's gonna make relationships more challenging, but go ahead.
As
Come
we
on,
walk
Lena.
away, she's gonna hand him a piece of chocolate.
The better already.
Out of your hand. He bites your finger a little bit.
Cheshire, is there any way for us to get the information that's relevant without needing to watch it?
No.
Okay.
All right.
Trevor's
Give me
gonna pull one out, and a combination dancing lights and minor illusion to project the image of the memory.
Very good.
But first, I want to show the one about his chocolate issue because I think that would be hilarious.
It's like the intro, like
Yeah,
5
right, the
minute
trailer.
short.
The cold open.
It's the Pixar short before the full movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rez's hot chocolate.
So you go ahead and you pull up this memory and you show it. Who's looking at this? Who's perceiving it?
I am perceiving it.
So you perceive this working site as you sort of come to. This is like a scroll work. It's called a scrivener work, actually, and you could see a number of little imp-like creatures who are all working on these little scrolls, but within the sort of perspective that you can see within the memory, you can see and perceive this divine scent, and you are overcome with this feeling of shame. Things are happening so quickly in this memory. In the space of about 2 seconds, you perceive, locate, and consume a piece of chocolate. And you've never, as a human or as an elf, eaten something so quickly. The biology must be different. It feels remarkably different. And instantly you feel this overwhelming sense of shame and embarrassment and fear. And in this moment, you know that Rez has stolen chocolate, and suddenly at the end of this memory, there is this sensation of alertness and of being caught. And you're showing the second memory?
After the first one, we're like, oh, that was just for the warm-up. Here you go, here's the real one.
Is everyone watching it, or is it just Ori right now?
If it's only one, can one person like experience the memory at a time, or is it?
Yeah, it's one person at a time.
Okay.
All right.
I thought
Ballas
it
would do it.
as like a movie.
I mean, yeah, Cheshire would be.
Well, Cheshire's, yeah, so then Cheshire's kind of giving you a
Like a zoetrope.
slightly, like, it's not as complex, but, you know, the bare bones presentation
It's not
of
the
this.
4D experience.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
I'm touching it. I want the VR. I want smells and all.
Okay, and then you'll have to remind me of this memory because
It's
I was
the
not-
one where he is not presently beholden to.
Alina?
Nope.
Oh, well, I don't know. I guess I'll find out.
Nope.
I remember. I met there. Pepperidge Farm.
The big scrivener. Oh my god. The big scrivener.
I just don't remember which one it is, and I did not have the time to prepare this ahead of time, so I am not able to pull it out of my notes. So you show that, and I guess we'll review it in post.
The gist, as I remember, was that he is beholden to someone in Stygia and is currently missing that memory, and so thus not obligated to report.
That is what I remember as well.
Okay, well, Ori would take that information, and I mean, yeah, it's relevant. That certainly is relevant. Okay, so
I never
Do you
said it was
remember-
not relevant.
Do you remember who it was?
No, I don't think we ever got a
It
name.
wasn't. Yeah, it was.
it was
It was
just
just his memory of it.
of,
So like,
like,
he didn't like. Oh,
them,
it was beholden to.
I'm gonna touch the memories to after Ori,
Okay.
and
It is relevant.
See?
But
I don't think you should get it back.
no,
That's a
you'll.
bad call.
I understand now why. Yes.
I think you made the right call, Cheshire.
Yes. So Rez is involved with this situation.
Well, yeah, she got him from a guy who was part of the fracturing. His house, remember? The one we burned down?
I mean, we're all involved.
Yeah,
We
weird
are
thing that.
all intimately involved with this.
Yes.
Hey, are you guys done?
Yes.
Just checking.
So,
You guys want dinner?
the two of you
We should
return.
sit.
Billy, are you returning to the group?
Yeah.
So as a group now, you all gather around this
Tina
ritual.
left you alone and then came back a minute later like they needed some privacy.
There's so many of them in there.
I know.
Anyways, all of you as a group now
Mhm.
coalesce around this ritual.
You done farting?
Oh.
Alina said y'all needed privacy.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Probably best to leave her out, too.
Okay, I really think we should rest.
Before we do, does Canoth's Lost mean anything to anyone here?
Oh man.
I'm so sorry, Joe.
Joe is wearing his
I'm so
NPC
sorry.
shirt because tonight it's just so many NPCs.
Technically, Hearson's cousin. Valis, you were told that.
Who
So
rolled?
Kanoth, Euthelius will
Yeah.
say, "What of the vampire?"
The exsanguinator.
Mhm.
Yes, one of the great ones, perhaps the original one.
What timeline are we talking about on that one? Like, if someone happened to live in the same place that was known as that for their entire life, like, what is like the relationship in time between that? Like, is that impactful? Should I be worried?
I do not understand your question.
Okay, that's fair. That wasn't very coherent. So, the place that I am from was apparently once known as Canoth's Lost. It's now the Lost Enclave. I don't know if I should be worried.
Likely,
I would be.
Kanoth was a mighty vampire, the likes of which have not been seen again on this planet.
Currently trapped, right?
Currently.
So, like, say we let him out. Maybe a whole bunch of people might not be in a great position right now.
From what I gather, no matter what we do, many people will be in a bad position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
The divine courts.
Just do we like the hell version? Or the not hell version?
yeah. Oh boy.
So in this moment, anything else?
So the divine court's
So much
purpose.
else.
The divine court's purpose is to watch over the dome. Nowadays, is that right?
Yes.
But
The
From
dome
what
and
I've-
what is within.
from speaking with the members of the divine court, you and the others want to go home, and would do so if given the chance.
We are not a single mind, Valis Birchbillow. We all have different goals. I am of the opinion that my kin are soft. Yes, things can be sealed away, or problems can be solved more permanently.
Direct. I appreciate that.
Would you allow evil to thrive, Valis?
I would not. I also wanted to stay behind and fight the skeleton lord that we unleashed in that place.
Did we unleash it? I don't think we did.
Just as I saw that you hesitated as well.
Castragus?
Castragus.
Or no?
Evil exists to be vanquished. To hide it away robs us of purpose.
I'm with you there, buddy.
I never heard someone put it that
He
way.
looks at all of you and he says, "Who is destroying this ritual?"
Not me. Those guys.
I can tomorrow. Pretty soundly.
Very well.
I'd
Then
like
we
to
should
do it.
rest.
Do you want to do it?
Thank you.
If I'm doing this,
I don't think you should.
I was gonna just turn all to mud.
That's not
I
what
don't know
meant.
what's going to happen to me or my sister, but
I don't think you should have anything to do with destroying this ritual.
and
In
why
fact,
would you think that?
You
Where
are
have you
listed
been?
in this ritual. And if those involved prove false, their souls are forfeit, which means if you break this ritual, Ori, you might be forfeit.
If this ritual is broken, I am forfeit.
We don't know that.
I don't care what happens to me. I don't want to damn my sister to Stygia.
Well, she is listed as well.
I'm already a target. I don't mind bearing this.
I think Billy's right, Ori.
I also don't mind being the one to destroy it.
I don't think
All
it
of you have
matters who's
souls headed
destroying
somewhere
it.
else.
Yeah, the Glimmering Oasis.
Destroying it is going to do something, one way or another, and I want to be as prepared as I can if I am going to damn myself and my sister to Stygia.
Rez, what does forfeit mean in an Infernal contract? Because I don't think I understand.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. You put down forfeit, it could mean you lose, it could mean it gets taken, it could mean physically repossessed, it could mean, and this is my favorite one, if you're a devil and you owe another devil, you put forfeiture on the contract, that's just 2 tiers removed. That's like free money. So, I mean, a lot of things.
Okay.
It could just mean that they don't get the power and that they're actually going there.
Yeah, because I thought that's what you said earlier. So earlier I asked Rez to explain that line, and the
Yeah.
way he said it, he made it sound like nothing bad would happen to the souls if we break the contracts, but it feels like...
Nothing
Wait.
bad is going to happen to Ori and Ori's sister, probably.
Ori's dad, on the other hand.
But the dad and Zoro's...
Oh, they're probably fucked. I mean, if you make the contract and the contract is broken, that's almost never good. But because they're not the people breaking it, I don't know. It really depends.
But
Are we gonna
they're
have
the ones, we're the
to
ones
argue
that
with
they've
this with
dealt
someone?
for.
Yeah, it does...
We
I'm
are
gonna argue
named
this
in
with
that.
someone.
Yeah, but you want the people
Like,
who made
all of
it.
us want to, like, I'm
Right,
Spartacus,
but
we all
ours-
want to.
By the wording,
You just forfeit what you would have gotten out of it. It's
Right.
not
So
a-
the whole point of the wording is that it allows the devil who wrote it to interpret it. As mortals, you don't have that power. So your only ability in a devil contract is to break the contract itself.
the souls of Alornos, Iseleros, Zoros,
You're not
Esser,
hearing me, Ori.
and
the-
those they deal for be forfeit.
Okay, you got this.
Hey,
That's- Not
What I was trying to tell Ori, telepathically, he says to you,
yeah.
is that the words literally don't matter because they're for us to fuck with you guys about.
Ori, I think Rez knows what he's talking about. You know?
I'm not saying he doesn't know what he's talking about. But I'm saying it's intentionally vague, so
Yeah.
we don't know what's going to happen.
And
Yeah.
so doesn't it make sense for you not to lay a hand on it in case doing so would fuck you over when it wouldn't have otherwise?
I
He's made
suppose
his
so.
choice. And it's his to make.
If it were up to me, I wouldn't do anything right now because there's so much we don't know. I don't want to lose my sister again.
I know.
And this is the emotion we call anxiety, Ori.
What more do we need to know? I can ask Javaris a question tonight and possibly one after we rest.
I think there's more than that, but
It doesn't hurt though, right? We can rest, recover, ask Jovaris. The decision will still be here in the morning.
I think the amount of time that we would need to get more information to sway us in any other direction is not the amount of time that we have to spare. We're going to need to
That's
make
right,
a
we have to
decision
make a
either way.
Yes.
And
That's what we're all saying, buddy.
And that's what Euthelius will kind of key in on as well and say, and whenever you make this decision, there will still be things you don't know. And if you don't make this decision, that is a choice as well.
Mhm.
If you do not want to lose your sister, continue having agency. Do not continue to allow things to happen to you.
That's my boy right there.
You had mentioned that if we break it here, the other two anchors would remain hidden? Or if we break it here, they're all falling?
Ori's sister will say, likely based on this sort of magic, the anchor will become more localized. The eclipse will remain over the anchors, but much smaller.
So we could potentially find a mobile object?
Potentially.
I am of the opinion that we break this when we wake, because at least then we know that there is no other. It will stop this. It will stop this.
we need to
We
break
are-
this seal.
The rest is doomed. There are too many anchors broken, and at this point, we might not be able to stop what's coming, but keeping everyone in the dark isn't solving it either.
We need to go to the Arson Lock.
Valis, do you feel ready to go back?
Yes.
And you remember, Valis, Hearsome said that were you to do essentially this, he will walk you straight into the front door of the Awesome Lock himself.
I've been wanting to go back since I've joined you.
Are we in agreement?
I can get us back pretty quick. Rest, deal with the ritual, and then head back to the Awesome Lock, assuming we are still around to
The
head back.
people trying to break the seals and take down the dome, they don't remember why it was put up in the first place, do they?
No, nobody does. That's kind of the whole point.
Unless they also read the pact.
But many people didn't.
Right.
And maybe knowing what's out there could sway them to change their opinions.
Maybe. But we also have seen people doing things for their own purposes and not thinking about the consequences. And we are guilty of the same. Okay.
So we are choosing to face the banished one and the denizens within that are trapped in the spire in lieu of facing a freed devil.
I don't know if it's necessarily one or the other. It's just one is going to be severely
Think of it as we're
Impeded?
facing all of those crazy monsters definitely. And maybe the crazy power-hungry devil.
Alina is settling in, pulling out the tray, nice
Yeah, no
nourishing
problem.
dinner, right? Like,
Yeah.
she's really, she's like, please guys, we're all almost dead. Eat, please.
So anything that folks want to do before a long rest? You had something
Yeah.
you had to ask Tavares.
Yeah. I want to ask Minka for help and for Cheshire for help. Any advice on making him talk faster, since time is of the essence?
Guidance.
Thank you.
Tavares by commission. Or by committee. So, yeah, go ahead. What are you asking?
Is there anything that anyone wants me to ask? Otherwise,
Specifically, the only other thing I could think of would be the person who's named in the contract that we don't know.
Padme Clive.
Yeah, that's the only other thing I can think of. Everything else, I think we have a good grasp on, unless someone else has a better idea.
I like that idea.
Sounds good to me.
Legend lore on Padme Clive. Oh my god, it is not looking good.
Oh no.
Let's see.
Does your own aura apply to you?
It's not a saving throw, I don't think.
Oh no!
Total
Actually,
Maybe it should be a saving throw.
close.
actually, I think we're okay.
Hmm?
On a 2 on the die,
Okay.
with guidance,
Okay.
with with inspiration, that is a dirty 20.
Isn't it?
I think that means it beats it.
I think
It is DC 20 persuasion check
There
to
you go.
get to the point. Javaris, friend of Valis.
With a 2 on the
you can hear the old voice
Dirty is 20.
sort of emanating from these prayer beads as you hold it close to your ear and you hear them say, Valis, you are such a nice young man. Why would you ask about such a controversial figure?
Well, you saw what I just saw with the contract. We have a decision to make, so we're just trying to get as much information as those involved within the contract.
Padme Clive was the author of something you have heard of called Shatterscale. At the end of the Second Age,
Oh,
the dragons were domineering Valis. They were hard to live with. Their wars caused schisms across continents, Valis. There were no friends back then. Overnight, people say the dragons disappeared, that Fazarak fell, but it was no coincidence. It was a weapon. And for this she was sealed away. In the prison beneath the Onyx Spire.
she's the Dragonkin eradication proponent.
She is the dragon eradicator.
What species is she? Is she human? Elven?
She was born an elf.
That's
Phrasing.
The destruction that one person can do, it changes you, Valis. She is an elf no longer.
She's okay.
What is her relation to Zoros Eshere?
They are scholars, but there is something more. There is emotion there, Valis. There is loss.
Is she dead currently? Or is she just imprisoned?
That is a hard one to answer, Valis. But I believe she could still affect this world. I believe that she could walk again. Anything else as you wait for this long rest? One by one,
No, it's fine.
you all find your way to a long rest. And the night passes without issue. You're in a place, though very dangerous in the moment, having cleared out a lot of the danger, you are relatively safe. You don't feel watching eyes. You don't feel prodding minds. And all of you can mark off a long rest.
Hooray.
There is no sun within the shattered sphere, but if there was, it would be rising on the 14th of High Sun, a Sunday. It is close to 3 in the morning as you all awake, having thrown off your sleeping cycle somewhat.
Hey, time's weird in the Fae.
Worth it. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
There's no mirrors out here. We can't see the sun. It's
Anybody have
fine.
some fantasy ambient?
So you all wake up and again find your way to this ritual. As you gather around, kind of looking across, it still has not been solidified who exactly will break this, but in this moment, as you consider that, because it is 9 o'clock and we haven't taken a break yet, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back for the end of this session. Thank you for sticking with us for this session of Courts of Everest. There's a timer on your screen. We'll be back at the end of it. Okay. and welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did. If not, welcome to D&D. So, as you all slept, or tranced, or found your rest, you can mark off that long rest. You can, well, let's just see what happens. Billy, in the night, you decide that simple story progression is not for you.
Oh, okay.
Make a self check.
Sorry.
Oh, big man.
Oh man, sorry.
He just had to be known.
It's my fault.
16.
Okay. So, Ori, at night, as you are... Well, hang on 1 second. It's been pretty permissive about trans, and I think that when I really look at the rules as written here...
Raw
Science. 24 hours.
That's
for
for me.
Yeah. It's just for Vincent. And for any other giant dorks out there like us.
Gotcha. Okay. So, rules as written, though you are, like, lightly aware of things, you aren't really technically perceiving the world around you. So, unfortunately, with a 16 from Billy, with a natural 20 from the Artificer, and I have one more person here, with a 17 from Euthelius,
Well, one of us
wake
would
up,
be-
and as you wake up, this individual kind of staring straight at you,
Artificer?
Euthelius.
Oh, Euthelius.
They are
Euthelius headed over
watching
to
you
the
sleep
the
pretty much the
artificer.
whole time. But they would wordlessly kind of get up. They would approach you. You go over. You wake up the Artificer. They open their eyes. Their hand goes to the sword, but seeing you, they stop.
And Billy's gonna like gesture closer towards the ritual chamber.
Okay. So you gesture a little bit closer. What is your passive perception, Valis?
Let's see. My passive perception is just a 15.
Cool. So three of you kind of cross the distance over to this ritual.
Billy casts silence on the sleeping party.
Okay.
So that there's a barrier between us and them.
Nice.
I can't let Ori break the ritual.
The Artificer nods, and they say, I cannot allow Elisare to come into harm's way.
I believe that would happen if the ritual were to be broken by one of them.
He nods, and Euthelius at this, having never broken eye contact with you, says, it should have been you all along.
You do what you can with the knowledge you have.
What I mean is, your soul is not in this balance.
I know, that's what I'm suggesting.
They
Isn't
nod.
that nice? My point being, I worry about our host. She will not respond kindly to any action we take against the ritual. We will need to evacuate everyone swiftly.
I disagree. She has been here the whole time, you know.
Yes,
In and out.
yes,
From one mirror to the next.
yes, very obvious. She's still here and she can hear everything. It's very unnerving.
She is not here anymore. Billy, as you look around, there is not the same number of mirrors in here as there was before. There are fewer.
I
Out of the
dislike this
corner of your
intensely.
eyes, many of you have seen moving shapes kind of going from mirror to mirror, but she has been active. And Euthelius says, she is prepared. There will be consequences,
Of course.
but I do not believe they will be right now.
Well, I suppose I'm better than everyone else.
Yes.
Either way, evacuate everyone. I also don't know how the tablet will respond. It's going to go poorly. Do you have that capability? I don't know.
To move this group?
Yes.
No. But your friend does.
Billy, like, sneaks back in through the silence. You might want to start casting the teleportation circle back to the spire. Now.
Yeah.
Around everyone who's sleeping.
Can I do it that big?
Yeah. So, yeah, with everybody kind of sleeping in roughly like the same kind of group, you're barely catching everybody, but you can. With
just check if
silence,
this has
especially within that kind of like as a guideline for your radius. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's really smart.
God damn, you are. No, it does have a verbal component.
It does, but at the end.
Ah, right.
As you start
Okay.
drawing
Lasts
it,
for 10 minutes.
It's silent.
Oh shoot.
Silence won't last for 10 minutes.
The casting time is 1 minute.
And we've agreed in the past it's been allowed to kind of draw the whole thing and then just like finish it at the. All right. I'm gonna give you a big hug. And then
I'll be right there.
you better. Chalk.
Well, if there's something you would like to do to prepare for this, I figured I'd best tell, I guess, 2 of you. I meant to just tell you, but no, I'm good. Thank you for the information about the madam. I think just like a sword strike would do it.
There's only one way to find out.
This is gonna suck, and I hope you had more advice than that. Okay. Billy kind of like stands in front of the tablet and does the little like delay thing to like wait until Alina's done casting and like just kind of flip-flop around a little bit.
Give her a
And-
little thumbs up once it's done.
Okay.
She casts Booming Blade.
You cast Booming Blade. You don't need to roll anything. This is a
Great.
rock.
Hey, you never know.
Billy, you slam down into this stone. And in this moment with silence cast, there is nobody to perceive it outside of the people that you have gathered. And so this relatively small group witnesses the breaking of this ritual. As Billy, you break the stone, and it is just stone. You recognize as you crack it, it is in this adamantine sphere specifically because it is just stone. Well, the magic is powerful. You crumble this ritual. And Billy, you break this anchor. There is a powerful shift in arcane energy. In this moment, it is like the ritual draws you in. And can I have you, the artificer, Elisserai? This will be Alina as well.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, sorry, the artificer, Euthelius.
Oh god, I was like, what the
Alina
fuck?
as well. Can you all please make Constitution saving throws?
Alina's technically inside the silent circle.
That is fair. Big Constitution saving throw.
Damn, okay.
This is the first die I've rolled all night, and
Yeah, because he's a punk ass.
is this against a spell?
It is not.
Okay.
It's against getting fucking whopped
13.
against the other wall.
Getting rock
That is
rolled,
a
yeah.
failure.
Of course.
Euthelius fails. The artificer succeeds.
9.
You fail. Everybody who fails is simply in this moment as the pressure draws you in. It is like you are pulled 3 or 4 inches off your feet, kind of towards this ritual, and then you feel your eardrums pop as you are deafened and then thrown prone as there is a wind tunnel of arcane energy that emanates out. You can see some of these mirrors shifted across the stone. For those of you in the silence, you are woken up as there is a rush of this gale force wind that would have floored you had you not been laying down already. You those of you who fail take 10 points of force damage.
Billy for sure just drops concentration immediately.
Running into the source
wait,
of
no, no, no.
blast.
What?
The chalk on the ground
Yeah. God damn it!
just brushed away.
All right.
You can
do whatever you
see
want.
all of a sudden along this entire space, the mirrors that do remain crack like spider webs, crack like little elements, and then shatter into thousands of pieces of glass that just rain across this space, tinkling like rain across the ground. And for you, Billy, even the silence can't really draw this out from the various people who are here. In this moment, Billy, you can see the thousands of pieces of broken glass as they kind of align for just a moment, the madam, as she peers through the broken glass, and almost in slow motion, you can hear in your mind, "You broke it all.
I told you I wasn't very smart.
This is a setback, and I abhor a setback. Wherever you may wander, wherever you may go, wherever you see your reflection, misfortune shall follow you,
Nothing
and
new.
me not far behind."
Nothing new.
And the glass just falls to the ground.
We need to go now.
All of you, as you awaken up, you can see the sky overhead on the Feywild
Go
side.
outside!
You couldn't wait.
No!
Why?
Go!
We had a
In this
plan!
moment, the
It
arcane
sucked!
energy rushes over all of you, and every single one of you is struck by visions, one after the next after the next. In the valley where whispers die, quiet voices murmur once more. A dark power that waited in the dark places between the bones of Alberon waits no more. Orthaniel Bloodcross turns and squints up at the sky before smiling and says, "My master, I shall not begin to gather thy children. They are wretched things. But it is time to free you." And they just disappear. The next vision in the Emerald Spire. Suddenly you awake, and you inhabit the skin of a Genasi scholar with skin red like the setting sun. They are having a dream, and as you awake, you had a dream that promotes a strange but alien and wonderful inspiration. This Genasi begins to dress eagerly, their ember-like eyes smoldering in the dark, knowing that they need to gather others for new and great research. In a dark place that smells of paper and wood, there is a sudden arcane flash and a flutter as stacks of parchment, some now smoldering with flickers of red flame, scatter in a mystical whirlwind. Crouching in the space, you can see a large man clad in wicked iron armor, styled to have spikes that look like flames radiating away from the arms and shoulders, crouched as if they have just landed, and slowly they stand as you hear footsteps pounding wood overhead. I would say, Ori, you recognize the Crimshell paper mill. In a place of inky blackness with wood as dark as oil, sitting upon a stuffed chair that creaks with the tiny weight of a 4-foot 10-inch woman clad in gray, the pointed nose suddenly turns up, seemingly regarding the world above. And the gray lady says, "The Empress of Broken Wills, I hear your song. Uncle Icarus, marshal the Dorgar and march west. I shall remain the last deep singer, even if the dome breaks." Finally, you see Alberon from above, still far away but shining like a blue beacon in a sea of black space, backlit by the occasional star of the astral expanse around it. And you hear, "Aha! I hear my name on their cracked lips and see their dingy souls once more. I taste their despair, and I smell their heartbreak. It reeks sweet like rotting meat. Follow your hearts, O ye dark pretty things, and invite me in again." And as you blink away this rush of visions, Elisarae falls to the ground. You see the staff crumbles to ash at her feet. Her body grows thinner and slighter and weaker. Valis, you recognize the signs of prism flu.
What did you do?
As her eyes flutter open, they glimmer with crimson at the edges, the beginnings of the end. She may have a month to live, perhaps a little less. Valis, you have seen this before. And Elisare says, I remember you, brother. I remember it all. Ellie, you without power. I'm sorry, Ori. Oh, no. And she tries to get up, but collapses on the ground. And she says, okay, you run over, and she says, when Father made his pact for all of my power, he didn't know that I was sick. He didn't know that I would benefit from this deal. He thought he was getting magic for you, Ori. He would have done anything to help you, even as it drove you away. And you see these crimson-stained eyes just roll up, and she is unconscious. Still alive, but weak. She is sick. And who has the Sending Stone?
I think I have it.
Alina.
I don't know.
Oh, Billy does.
Billy has it.
Billy, the Sending Stone flares to life. Tell me you did not break the ritual. Billy, she knows. Even with the tendrils of the eclipse, we cannot stop her now. We must prepare. I felt the winds of change. Her workings have begun. You mortals undergo so much trauma over your short little lives. You're all cracked and broken. In those crevices, she will twist her fingers and manipulate events. She will return from whence she came, and to capture that site will give us a powerful advantage when the time comes. It's time for you to return home. I cannot go to the Shattered Sphere. Can you meet me here in the Emerald Spire, now, at the Manticore?
Hello? Yes. Yeah, we can. I don't think
Alina.
that's how it works.
Alina,
Yeah, I
you
can do
must
it.
make your way to the Wincing Manticore now.
Okay. Join hands, everybody. Her too. Come on.
The Sending Stone goes out.
I'm just huddled over the body.
Okay.
And 3, 2, 1, plane shift.
So over 10 minutes, you reestablish the
No,
elements.
plane shift is
oh,
just
plane
action.
shift. Straight
Yeah.
up plane shifting. Okay.
Oh, we have to go back to the material plane, right?
Yeah. Okay. So you were going straight to the Manticore?
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal. You use this spell, churning the earth beneath your feet. You can feel it drop away, and it is an immense sensation of shifting and moving, and all at once you are back within the single-story bar. Give me 1 second. Use the fast way. Okay. You are back within the single-story bar, and you can see the ancient rock gnome, Crispy, who is now behind this counter, though they are wearing a peculiar asymmetrical robe of blue and yellow with a high collar that suggests a cloak that is no longer there. You can see next to them Hearsome. Though beneath their typical traveler's clothes, they are no longer wearing the same sort of regular robes that they normally do. Hearsome has donned supple leather armor, dyed a deep forest green that shimmers like emeralds and wet moss when the light strikes it at just the right angle, and there is no seams on this armor. It looks like it has grown onto his body. There is no stitching on this. There is just almost like the elements of bark fitting together on a tree, these pieces nestled together snugly. You can see elegant ribs of darkened oak wood that connect to a central leather sternal plate, shaped magically to look like the face of a laughing satyr. They wear pauldrons of large leaves stitched together. They are in full battle attire. And you can see they have a fiddle holstered in a green leather sort of case at their hip. They have a bow on a case on the other, and they drink a dark amber-colored spirit. You can see in this glass, and in this moment they say, "Good. Timely as ever. 1, 2, 3, all here. Good, good. Please grab a glass. These are dangerous times, and you never know when your last might fall or might find you."
I grab a glass.
Okay, you grab a glass. You grab a glass.
Beat the worm, dude.
They pull out this drink and pour elements of this beverage, which is Whisper Leaf Reserve. It is a potent sort of bourbon style drink. Taste of elderbark, notes of golden apple. And Hearsome says, "Wandering hearts, gather together. I hope you will help me avert the end of Everest." Your charge is ended. You have prevented a war. But you have unearthed a larger plot in the process. As a justice, God, I can't say the words now.
Justicia.
As a justicar.
You could have picked any word.
As a member of the Wand Line. I cannot bid you any longer. So I ask, will you please help?
Ori is sobbing on the ground over his sister's body still.
Okay, no problem.
Can you help her?
He turns, and looking over her, he will set the glass down, and bending down, he will look at you, Ori, and say, I can help her, but I do not believe it would help Ori. Not now. There are other things to try first. Ori, there is still time to save your sister.
Do whatever I can. Tell me.
Stand up. You stand up. He takes a glass off the counter and puts it in your hand. And he says, you need to put one foot in front of the other, just like you always have. And it will be harder than it ever has been. And it will be terrible, Ori. And I'm sorry. But perhaps we can save your sister.
I will.
And the rest of you?
Yeah.
This means that we must secure the house that the Wicked One will return to. We must take it for ourselves, but understand, without my knowledge of the Queen of Hags, I understand where it was. I also did not understand the truth of what it was, or else I would not have lost it. Even if we find it again, it will just be a shack on legs. You will need the words of power to enter. I don't suppose any of you have come across this yet. You do not.
Has anyone?
Although, Alina, make an intelligence check.
Oh shit. Did Alina come across them at one point with her...
Natural 20!
Fuck yeah!
Hell yeah! I've read a lot of things and not understood most of them.
I mean, same.
Key distinction.
I read a lot of things and don't understand any of them.
Unbidden, there are words that come to your mind. And you remember hearing them weeks ago. Orda, Pludnar Rastagrak. You had heard a whisper on the wind, and you didn't know what it meant then, because it was in Giant. But hearing these words now, you understand that these words would have meant something very different. You have heard these words before. They are, turn your back to the forest and your front to me.
I know the words of power.
Well, that's convenient.
Well, very good. Then all that's left is to locate the house. And there are means to do that, and answer a promise that I have yet to keep as well. Valis, do you wish to return to the Osenlock?
I'll look to the group.
I'm here for the party, so whatever you want. Down to clown.
I'm not going anywhere at this point.
What was that, Billy?
I thought I was helping.
We are.
Then
We're
do
trying
something
to.
now.
Tell us, how did we prevent a war?
I think at this point, Mingo would reach and try to hold Billy's hand if she can.
It is small, relating to all of this, but you remember the person who was murdered in the Emerald Spire.
He wasn't there for that.
So uninvolved to what just happened in the Shattered Sphere.
I was talking about at the party. Remember, we burned down the party, and that's when we found Rez.
So one exposition later, Pearson does tell you that there was a gentleman who you had just missed before here, and actually, really, one of the reasons that Hearsome needed one more person at the party.
We can recap this.
Okay, I thought for some reason what we did, the Shadow Spirit prevented a war, so I thought that was like...
So what Hearsome was saying with all of that was, asking you to do what he's asking now is outside of the scope of the treaty. That no longer really falls within that. So you can choose to just walk away.
The scope of this is greater than what the treaty calls for.
And so you
Gotcha.
can choose to just leave. You can go home. If you guys want, you can go to Thornholm. You could retire.
Go see Apple.
Yeah. So in this moment, he looks back to you, Valis, and he says, "Are you ready?"
Yes.
Very well. Crispy, I'm terribly sorry about the wall. Everybody, please, to the rear wall. And he goes over, polishes off his drink, sets it down, and then walks over to the very wooden wall. Okay.
Before Ori does, he's gonna go over to the artificer and be like, "Please watch over her."
I will, and will remain here for now.
Make sure nothing happens to her.
I didn't expect you.
I didn't expect any of this.
I want to try one more thing before we
Sure.
leave. I don't think it's going to work,
Sure.
but I just got this ability.
Why not?
I just want to go over to Ellie and try Cleansing Touch.
Okay. Give me 1 second here.
And
Oh,
it
wait,
says...
we're good. Never mind. Oh, cool.
Oh.
Thanks,
We haven't
Valis.
finished the long rest, so if you
Actually-
that's part of your level up.
Yeah, we haven't long rested yet.
No, we did.
How many hours
No,
into the
we
night
didn't
was
get
Well,
it?
you
interrupted.
didn't get it because Billy went and...
That's why I said I'm sorry at the beginning.
How many hours into the night was it?
You don't get it.
Okay.
It just gets
you were still on
interrupted.
watch because you're the one that was able to make the
So,
check to
I
receive
have-
15.
I have Regenerate prepared, and I haven't used my 7th level spell yet.
So give me 1 second here.
Regenerate, you touch a creature and stimulates natural.
No, I know what
healing
you're
ability. Oh, sorry.
Cleansing touch.
Oh, my bad.
You can use your action to end one spell on yourself
This
or
is
on...
not a spell. So
Okay. I mean, I don't...
so trying that, it does work technically. You end mage armor on her.
Oh,
You will just there is currently
You're
7
squishy.
after she was able to finish her long rest, she had 7 charges left in the staff, back down to 3. But you end mage armor with a 14th
Well, technically, I
level
can't if I didn't level up,
Yeah.
but...
doesn't work. You imagine that this is not
Salt
a
in the
spell.
wound.
Okay.
You would imagine that regeneration would not work on this. There's nothing that has been lost. This is
Right.
kind of some ongoing effect. It's not quite a disease,
Mm.
and it's not quite a spell. It's something really between.
Mm.
Yeah.
Assumed.
Greater restoration.
A dispel.
I do not have Greater Restoration prepared, nor do I want to
It's like
spend the
magical
dust, the diamond
microplastic.
dust,
fair.
because I've been saving that
Magical
diamond dust for
microplastic,
in case one of us eats it.
So, you all gather by this wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
hears some gestures, finds the seams, and then kind of creates this sort of element where there is a glowing green light that spills from between the planks. Yeah.
If we don't know where it is, where are we going?
You can see Hearsome looks and smiles, and he says, "Well, to the living map, of course," and pulls the wood apart, and there is this glowing green trail, and he steps through. Are you all going through this plant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Holding Billy's hand tight.
Have I heard of the living map?
Okay.
Yes, the living map is within the Awesome Lock. It's a map that updates and kind of changes at the time. It's made out of metal. Give me 1 second here.
Oh yeah, that place within the Awesome Lock.
It's up pretty
It's-
high.
That.
So you make your way through this space, and one after the other, you step out. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up my Awesome Lock.
There's not enough therapy in the world for
Billy is just like,
Yeah, really feel bad for Billy right
Honestly,
now.
Hannah doesn't remember.
Cara knows, Billy doesn't know.
Okay, very good.
One by one by one, you step out into a very alarmed space. As you step up, you're kind of stepping out at an angle. Your momentum kind of shifts because Hearsome has opened a walkway basically in the middle of a very large wooden desk. And in order to do that, you, when you step through, are suddenly turned horizontal as it is widthwise along this living wood. And you kind of, as you step, clump and fall over onto the ground. There's exclamations from this human woman and a dwarf with long blonde hair that kind of quickly step away from you. You look up and you are within the entryway to the Awesome Lock. And for you, Valis, there's a mixture of emotions that come here. You know that within this place, there's a desk that you are actually exiting on the interior of. This is the circulation desk. This is where you would normally be routed to wherever you would go within this library. And you are now kind of clumping out into the marble floors. You see white marble busts that feature various famous scholars kind of gathered around the room. And you can see there is the huge iron space that would make the staircase to go down or up. You can see they in two different directions. You also now, a little bit more in tune with what is happening here, note that there is no arc light in this space. It must be on one of the other floors. If you were to use that, you would need to go and find the arc light reagent.
What floor are we on?
You are on the 13th floor. That is the
And-
quote-unquote ground level of this building.
Okay.
Sorry, Talon has a suggestion for your next
You
one.
also note that there is a wisely elven scholar with silver hair and piercing blue eyes who is kind of waiting at the counter and now peering over. And in this moment, as these people look and the dwarf finally kind of catches his tongue and says, "Who are you?" That, because it is 9:40 and a great place to stop, is where we're going to end for the evening.
I'm back, bitches.
That's our sign off.
Thank you.
Hard
Session
renewed.
of Courts of Everest. We will be back next week on Friday, but if you can't wait that long, you can catch this session and our Starfinder session when they re-air on Sunday over at YouTube at AlberonRPG. But please, whatever you do, stay safe. It's wild out there. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
That's all.